folks, another one of these Mitchell guitars. I've bought like 3 or 4 of them now, and I've been selling them to people looking for Christmas presents, and that's what this video is about today. I've got a lot of people buying guitars for presents who don't play guitar, so it's a real risk purchase, isn't it? Especially if you're buying on Craigslist. So I thought I'd do a video about that. Obviously the best thing to do if you're buying a guitar for a present is to take the person that you're buying it for with you, which is not always possible because you want it to be a surprise. Or even better, take somebody who plays with you. So if you're going to look at a guitar on Craigslist, or even if it's an eBay pickup, take a player with you, someone who can strum it, make sure that everything notes. But that's not always possible either. And by the way, some sellers get touchy about that. It doesn't bother me. I often get people showing up with a player. I don't care. I set them up. I stand by my work. So if somebody tries it out, I'm not threatened by that. Most of the time they find my setups to be very good, especially for the price range that I'm selling in. So it's not a threat to me, but some people will get a little bit perturbed if you show up with a teacher or a player to try something out, and potentially not buy it. That annoys some people. But what I tell people when they're buying for a gift and you don't know how to play, have the person who's selling it play it. Play some chords, listen, see if you hear any dead notes, any flubbing, any bad sounds coming from the guitar. That's often an indication that there's a setup issue. Also, pick up the guitar physically. Don't pay for something without holding it. Even if you don't play, hold the guitar. Humans have great intuitions. Often if there's a hole or a crack, your eye will be drawn to it. It's uncanny how we notice imperfections. So hold the guitar, look at the guitar. Even if you're not a guitar player, you can see if there's something wrong with the wood. If you see something peeling up, something that's warped, a crack, a dent, turn the guitar over. Do the same thing with the back and the sides, particularly the join work, where the neck meets the body. Make sure there's no pulling away. Look at the neck, the frets. You don't play the guitar, but you kind of understand from looking at it how it works in terms of physics. So if you've got a fret that's sticking up, sticking out, it's going to cause a problem. If you have a big divot in the fretboard, it's going to cause a problem. Look at the particularly the headstock. This takes a lot of the pressure, the brunt of the pressure from the guitar. So if there are any weaknesses around here, the shortest span of the guitar, if there's any weakness around here, it's likely to give way. So if there's a crack here or a scarf joint that's pulling away, make sure you examine it, get your eyes up close to it, make sure there's no separating seams anywhere on the guitar. Look at the tuners, make sure there's nothing hanging off. Of course, if you do buy a guitar with a bad tuner, that's not too bad. Even non-guitar players can figure out how to put on a tuner or a set of tuners. It's not that difficult. All you need is a screwdriver and a wrench most of the time. Look at the nut and saddle. Often they'll be cracked, broken, chipped. Again, if you do buy one by mistake, that can be remedied by a guitar shop, a luthier. But you don't want to buy one and have to do that, especially if you're buying it as a gift. If you're absolutely frightened of buying a used guitar as a gift, you don't know enough about guitars and you're worried you're going to get ripped off or buy the wrong one, then don't buy a used guitar. Simple enough. Go to a place where you get a warranty or a return policy. Don't buy from Craigslist if you're that worried about there being a problem with the guitar. I say that as a Craigslist seller. I mean, don't buy that. You can't return them. It's no return policy on those sites. Same with Facebook Marketplace. If you're absolutely worried you're going to buy something that's got problems, or you're not sure about something when you look at it, don't buy it. Go with your caution impulses. Chances are it has a problem with it. Probably the safest thing to do is go to a reputable shop where they will stand behind their work. So if there's a problem with the guitar, they'll replace it or fix it or return it, whatever. Another good thing to do is take your hands like this and go up and down the frets. And if you feel sharpness or digging in on your hands, it's going to need what we call a fret beveling, which is not hard to do, but you're not going to be able to do that if you don't play or know anything about guitar. So that's going to cost you an extra $25 to $40 to get that done. Make sure the guitar has all the strings. Also, if you can stick a quarter or a couple of quarters between the strings and the frets, close to where the fret meets the guitar, this is a really simple way of checking action. You're okay. You can dial it in, or you can have it dialed in. If it's like 5 quarters away or an inch away, then obviously there's something wrong with the guitar and it needs drastic alteration. The person you're buying it for is not going to be able to play it. If it's sitting flat on the fretboard, then obviously the guitar's warped and you've got a situation going on. It may be able to be fixed, but you're not going to be the one to do that. It's going to cost you money to do it. And you're going to be giving a guitar to somebody who's going to be very disappointed when they try to play it. Last of all, even if you don't play, twang the strings softly, like that. Twang the strings and make sure they ring, all of them. You don't need to play a guitar to be able to do that. Play it like a harp. And if you get a good ring, then you know nothing's obstructing the flow, the energy between the string, the nut, and the soundboard. If you hear a bum note or a buzz or a metallic ping, then obviously there are issues with the guitar and it will need a setup. So if you are buying a guitar as a gift, there are things that you can do. You don't have to be intimidated because you don't play guitar. First of all, hold the guitar, look at the guitar, examine the parts of the guitar, try to understand how it works. But even if you don't play, don't be intimidated. Look at the sections that are important: the nut, the string height, and the bridge. Make sure the bridge isn't pulling up. Look at the body, no cracks, no delaminations, nothing rattling inside like a seam's come off or something's loose on the inside. It's good to shake a guitar as well and make sure it doesn't shake. It may have a rattle if it has wires, if it's an electric acoustic, but if it's just a straight acoustic, you shouldn't get any sound from shaking it. And lastly, do the sound check, even if you don't play. Just strum it as if it were a harp and make sure it rings properly. And lastly, of course, if you have any fears that you're buying a bad guitar, particularly in the used market, you're not going to be able to return it. So if you're worried about it, don't buy it. And if you don't trust your instincts, don't buy a used guitar. Go buy a new one. There are plenty of new guitars. However, do understand this. If you buy a new one online and you have it shipped to you, it could have all the issues you're trying to avoid from a used guitar. I make a living at fixing guitars that are shipped to you via Amazon or other places that have problems. So understand, if something gets shipped to you, like this guitar was shipped to me, the action was too low. I had to hire it. The fret ends were too sharp. I had to bevel it. It needed some tweaking. So if you're going to buy a new guitar, go to a reputable guitar shop and buy a Yamaha, or buy something that is, you're getting good value and that you have a return policy and that you can work with the seller. However, don't just assume that's Guitar Center. Often Guitar Centers have good prices and a good stock, but their tech people aren't always that good. Sometimes they're just kids that work there that know a few things. It's better to go to a shop that has a proper luthier as a proprietor. Say you pay $150 for the guitar instead of $120. It's worth it, because the person standing behind that guitar who warranties that guitar is more skilled and is going to be able to take care of you much better. So those are just a few tips. I know a lot of people are buying guitars right now for gifts, and it is kind of intimidating, sort of frightening. I have a lot of people come to me. I take a lot of time with them too. I show them, I try to educate them actually. It's probably annoying. But somebody comes to me and they're buying it as a gift. They don't know what they're buying. I say, well, here, let me show you. It works. Here's the way it sounds. I'm going to play it for you. I'm going to play it all the way up the neck. There's no buzzing. There's no false notes. It plays everywhere. Then I show them how clean it is. No cracks, no splits, no issues with the body. There's nothing loose. The action's really nice. I've set it up to be very, very playable. And they leave feeling a little bit better about the situation because I've taken the time to sort of show them everything I can about the guitar and why it's a good guitar. But you're not going to get that with every seller. I mean, a lot of people who sell guitars on Craigslist are just selling something out of their attic. They don't set it up, they don't fix it, they don't know anything about it, and it might have a lot of issues. So if you are worried about that, then just go to a reputable shop and buy one. And if you buy one online, just know that you might have to take it to a shop and have it set up anyway. So those are the issues in buying a new guitar, but it's a very good gift. Don't not buy it because you're intimidated or frightened. Buy a gift of a musical instrument for your family members, for your friends. You couldn't give them anything better, especially if they're just starting out. If you buy them a nice guitar, that's a super gift. That might be the gift that keeps giving all their lifetime. It's far more valuable than socks or chocolates or video games even. They're great gifts. So don't let any experience put you off. Just try to be smart about it and educate yourself about the process. And if you're really worried, buy one from me. They're set up. They play great. All right, folks. See you on the next one.